Hey everyone, Video Game Lover here. I'm not sure if you're able to see this, but Lokito's right there, making his appearance. Anyway guys, welcome to another edition of Games That I Finished, where I discuss all the games that I beat for a month. I beat a grand total of 11 games for the month of May, and let's get started. So here's a fun fact. This is the only game that I have that I finished physically. The 10 games I'll show you after this are all from either emulation or on my PSP or digital. So here it is. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I finally played and finished this game. And yes, this game is amazing. This game got on my nerves a lot. This game can be very frustrating. We all know the missions, supply lines, which if only my friend told me that it was an optional mission sooner, I would have never done it. Wrong side of the tracks. There are some really annoying missions in this game, but this is still an awesome game. Very good game. Love this game so much. Seriously, this is a must play. Now I can see why everyone says this is the best GTA. So, awesome game. So, I went on an Atari Lynx binge early in the month. I finished 4 Atari Lynx games. It's been a long time since I played some Atari Lynx games. And here are the 4 that I beat. Turbo Sub, a fun little arcade shooting game, but I feel like it's way too fast-paced. You move so frantic, it actually makes the game a lot harder. Now, I don't know if that's how it plays on the actual Lynx. I just think it's an emulation thing, similar to Road Blaster on the Lynx. That Road Blaster ran way too fast on emulations, but I enjoyed Turbo Sub. It was a small game. However, though, Stun Runner, now that's a really fun-ass game. That was an awesome game. I really enjoyed Stun Runner a lot. Very fun, very addicting game, runs good on the Lynx, awesome game. That's an Atari Lynx game I highly recommend. Scrapyard Dog, this is another like platforming game on the Atari Lynx. I think it's like one of the few on the Atari Lynx. And a lot of people said it's a pretty solid game. Not really. I mean, it's an okay game. It's kind of silly. Your dog gets kidnapped by a dog mafia and you have to go through levels. But what makes the game so unbelievably frustrating is if you get hit once, you're dead. Now there are ways you could get shields, but they're kind of hidden. Like you have to crouch down in a certain spot to get them. And it, like anything kills you in that game. Little water drops, you're dead. Little tiny holes that look like you could easily, like no human could die, you die. It's just dumb. It's a really hard game. And the controls aren't really all that responsive. So I don't really recommend Scrapyard Dog all that much. I know that there's some that really like that game on the Atari Lynx fan base and Atari Lynx groups, but I'm not really one of them. Lastly is Zarlar Mercenary. Now that was a pretty fun shmup on the Atari Lynx. It's a little too chaotic at times, but it's definitely one of the few shmups on the system. I believe the other one was Gates of Xenocon, which I did enjoy for a little bit. But Zarlar is a pretty fun game. You could buy a lot of items to help you out. You gotta make sure you have bombs, because if you don't have bombs, you're gonna die a lot in the last level. So, really fun game. So the next game that I finished was Darkstalkers on the PSP. Darkstalkers Chronicle the Chaos Tower. And basically, it's Darkstalkers, except you can make it play like the first game, the second game, or the third game. It's a really cool game. I really enjoy that game a lot. And I also finished the 2 Dragon Ball Z Shin Budokai games. Shin Budokai 1 and Shin Budokai 2. Now, the first game is a pretty fun Dragon Ball Z fighting game. It plays kind of like Budokai 3. So I really like that. I'm not really a big fan of the story mode because it's kind of long, but it's not too bad. However, though, while the second game's gameplay is much better than the first game, the story mode in Another Road is trash. all you do is you move around, fight onslaught of enemies, and it's just bullshit as hell. I got to chapter 7, I couldn't do it. So I beat the arcade mode for Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 on PSP. As far as the first game, I beat the story mode in that game, but they're both really solid fighting games for the PSP. So if you enjoy the Budokai games, they're must-haves. I also finished Samurai Warriors 2 on the PS2. I actually did that blind. I did a whole blind Let's Play of that game. And it was rough, but I was able to do it for you guys on stream. I beat it as Hanzo, and that was a fun game. Can be very, very frustrating sometimes. The next game that I finished was Samurai Warriors 4. And what's funny is that is the first Vita game that I finished in a while, and that game was awesome. I really enjoyed Samurai Warriors 4. Plays really well on the Vita. It's a really good game. I highly recommend that either on PS4 or the Vita. A lot of people say it's one of the best of the Samurai Warriors games, and I agree. And last but not least, I finished Stellar Blade on the PS5. It was gifted by one of my biggest fans, and I played and beat it, and I enjoyed it. That being said, I have a lot of issues with that game. For one thing, the story in the game is not very good. It really doesn't get good till literally the very end of that game. So, not really of an interesting story. The gameplay is good. Combat is fluid, but my god, is it so brutally hard. The last 3 bosses need to be nerfed. Like, what in the hell were they thinking with those final 3 bosses? You had to be so perfect with the perfect dodge and the perfect parry that if you screw up just once, it's game, set, and match for you. So, it's a really frustrating game. It's a good game, but it ain't an amazing game. However, though, I'm having fun with it a second time around at New Game Plus because I'm trying to get the second ending to that game. So anyways, guys, that's all the games I beat for the month of May. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Video Game Lord 58, sign out. Peace.